Communication skills are the #1 skill gap among American workers, and lack of these skills is a barrier to advancement. Alelo has developed a new breakthrough learning product called Enskill, which uses artificial intelligence to help people learn to communicate effectively and persuasively. Alelo started using AI in training to help military members quickly learn foreign languages and cultures to prepare for overseas deployments. This helped them to reduce conflicts and even saved lives. Now we are making this capability available to everybody to deal with communication problems that they face every day. Alelo's Enskill platform lets learners practice communicating with AI-driven avatars. They can practice without fear of making mistakes, but they get feedback and personalized instruction in the areas that they need to improve. This helps them to progress quickly at lower cost and more effectively than conventional classroom-based instruction. To communicate effectively, you need to present clear, well-structured arguments. For example, you can present your vision, then describe the benefits of achieving your vision, and then identify next steps that you can take. So using artificial intelligence technology, Alelo Enskill is able to identify elements of arguments and make sure that they come together into a clear delivery structure. It's also important to use persuasive language to present your ideas clearly, declaratively, and with evidence. Lots of people make mistakes of presenting their ideas tentatively, as questions, or as personal opinions. So again, using AI technology, Enskill is able to evaluate the learner's use of language, determine how persuasive it is, and then incorporate that into the overall score that we give to the learner. So now let's put these ideas together. In this scenario, the learner is supposed to present to their manager their ideas of how to improve HR training in their company. There are 3 characters in this scenario. There's the learner, there's the learner's manager, and then there's a co-worker who is listening in on the conversation and is actually vying for the learner's job. So if the learner does a bad job of presenting their ideas effectively, the co-worker, Travis, may jump in and give his ideas. So this is a way for the learner to practice, and if the learner is having difficulties, can see how to do it right by seeing how their co-worker does it. So now I'm going to go through this scenario, show you what happens if I do a bad job of presenting my ideas.
Alex, I'd like to hear your ideas about how to revamp HR training.
You want to maybe look into AI-based training?
That's a really good idea. I've seen some AI demos at trade shows.
Alex, why do you think it would make such a difference?
Personally, I think AI is really cool.
I've been hearing about using AI in training. Travis, what kind of demos have you seen at trade shows?
I've tried several, but the one I liked best was where I could role-play scenarios with an avatar and get feedback on what I said. We could deploy this for way cheaper than sending all the branches for live HR training.
Great. What's our next step?
Would you like to maybe set up some meetings?
Yeah, that sounds like something to look into. Travis, you met a lot of these companies. Bring me some of those leads.
There are a couple of local companies that would make good partners for this. I'll make some calls and set up some meetings.
Thanks, Travis. Just put them on my calendar.
Sounds good.
And Alex, I'll get back to you about this. Good meeting.
So let's see how well I did here. Not too well, just a mastery score of 26%. So let's look in more detail as to what I did wrong and where I can improve. So first of all, I was able to explain the potential of using AI for training, but I didn't explain what the benefits were in a convincing way. And I didn't explain well what the next steps should be. And I also didn't do a good job of using persuasive language to get my ideas across. But fortunately, I have an opportunity now to practice again. So let's see now if I can do better next time and get a higher score.
Alex, I'd like to hear your ideas about how to revamp HR training.
I recommend we look into AI-based training. It could have a big impact on our HR training program.
That's a really good idea. I've seen some AI demos at trade shows.
Alex, why do you think it would make such a difference?
It has lower costs than conventional classroom-based training, and research shows that it yields much better long-term outcomes.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Great. What's our next step?
I've identified a company with a good track record in this area. I would recommend we bring them in for presentation.
Interesting. Alex, why don't you recommend a company and arrange for them to come in to do a presentation? Good meeting.
So let's see how well I did this time. Oh, I got a much better score. So let's take a look in more depth to see what I did right this time. I was able to introduce the idea of using AI-based training in our organization, but then I went on to explain what the benefits would be for our company. And then I was able to present a next step that we could take to realize this vision. And then very importantly, I was able to use persuasive language throughout my presentation. So that helped me to get a very high score in this run. Enskill lets learners practice communicating with AI-driven avatars, where they can make mistakes and they can practice as much as they want without fear of embarrassment. But they get feedback on where they can improve, and they get personalized instruction to help them improve. Our cloud-based servers are delivering this AI-based training content to learners around the world. This has potential to revolutionize the training industry.